Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do,
Just what to do, just what to do.
if what you're feeling is really true,
It's really true, is it really true?
just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
Welcome to the Geri Petito Show. Everyone and anyone who knows me knows I am the author of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. I'd rather be a smartass than a dumbass. Because, guys, over 33 years ago, I was a dumbass. But today, 33 years later, I can honestly say now, through the grace of God, I'm now a smartass. Yes, the word ass is in the Bible at least 40 times, and it means donkey, and that's what I was. I'm saying all that to say this, there's been so many people lost to addiction, and it could be any kind of addiction. And families are hurting and people need help. And I want everyone out there to know that someone is listening. I'm a nutritional health coach. I'm also a recovery coach. All my services to you are free. If you think my book can help someone, because I do, you can go right to Simon & Schuster's bookstore, Archway Publishing, BAM, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can go to my website, www.geripetito.com. And guys, listen, if you truly, truly, truly cannot afford my book, please, please reach out to me about that as well. So I want to give a shout out to some of my sponsors before I introduce my incredible guest. Stormin Norman Selden. 732-245-4777, www.stormandnormanselden.com. Booking dozens of attractions for concerts and performances of venues of all sizes, from 5 to 12-piece band, guys, okay? So whatever you need, he's got. And a lot of you that don't know this, he helped get Larry Chance from the Earls started, all right? How cool was that? So, Stormin Norman Selden. Now, Ken Ryan and Linda Garofalo, The Way It Used to Be. Singing songs from the 50s to the 80s, a tribute show to the greatest music and voices of all time. Also, Elvis for me, baby. He sings Elvis for me, okay? And I've got to just thank them for all the fundraisers they do. They're amazing. Okay, then we've got John Bishop, a.k.a. Johnny B., singer-songwriter, host of the Entertainment Luncheon South, a nonprofit network created for the creative. Facebook group page, Entertainment Luncheon South, partner in the Joey D. and Johnny B. Rockin' Oldies Band. Facebook group page, Joey D., Johnny B. Rockin' Oldies Band. And I want to give them a shout-out as well, because Johnny B. and his wife Lenny, they do an entertainment luncheon once a month. Guys, it's like $20 to get in, and you get food and a show. And they don't make a penny on it. And they're amazing, too, with everything that they do, all nonprofits, and to help out. So I love you guys. So I want to introduce to you this really cool guy, okay? First of all, his voice is incredible. His music is great. And a shout out to Caden Gordon, because he's the one who introduced us. Caden is amazing. He's he's young, and what he's doing is off the charts. He's winning awards. He's in radio. The kid is, listen, I can't even believe and count on two hands everything this kid's accomplished. So, Caden, we love you, man. Let me introduce Rocky Michaels. Say hello.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on. And by the way, that's a great intro. The music kind of beeping and bopping. I couldn't help kind of move along to it. So kind of got the juices flowing. I'm ready to go.
So listen, I have to share something very funny with you about that song. Years ago in 2016, I was approached by someone, and he says, I'd like to make a theme song for your show. I'm like, sure. The first one he sends me, are you ready? It went like this. I'm not an addict. I'm just an ass. I cracked up and I called him. I go, you want people to kill themselves? I said, no. We are not doing that. I said, it has to be fun. It has to be upbeat.
There you go.
So there you go. So, all right. So, first of all, thank you for honoring me today. You have an amazing voice. Let's start with you sharing a little bit about who you are and a little bit about your story, and then I'll have questions.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, I am an indie folk singer-songwriter coming to you from California, the San Francisco Bay Area, born and raised. Uh, and you know, I've been playing music all my life. I was taking piano lessons when I was 5 years old, and
Oh,
after high school, started a band with some buddies. To date, I've got three fully released albums out there, 30 songs. In fact, my 31st song is going to be released 2 weeks from today. And my whole motivation is really just to try to connect with people through songs and lyrics. It's a pretty the world's on fire right now, and it's a pretty divisive time. So I firmly believe that music has this opportunity to kind of form a common thread and bring us all a little closer. So that's what I aspire to continue to do with my songs.
I have to interrupt you real quick because you just said something beautiful, and you're right. Music does bring people together, and I want to thank you also for your music because through COVID, the musicians helped save lives. I had people messaging me when I was doing lives of singers. Jerry, you don't know what that did for me. I'm in a hospital, and I had the nurse fix my phone so I could watch this. So thank you for what you're doing as well, Rocky.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, no, it's universal. It doesn't matter what our background is or what our beliefs or affiliations are. It's music has is that common denominator, and it I I I think it has. We almost have an obligation to do what we can, our small part, to just try to bring some positivity to the world. And we can't control the headlines, but we can focus on the things we can control. So
So now your music. So singer-songwriter, correct?
correct,
Do
yes.
you ever sing covers?
I do. I'll play out here in the Bay Area as a solo singer-songwriter. I mean, there are a ton of wineries out here in California, so it's a great compatible venue for me. And a lot of times they don't know Rocky Michael's music, so I'll play covers and then I'll sneak in some originals. Uh, I say at the wineries, the more you drink, the better I sound. So it's kind of has dual benefits.
That's funny. So go
Yeah,
ahead. No, continue.
but I do play covers. I've really enjoyed. I think looking back, some of the singer-songwriters and lyricists that I really admired over the years, names like James Taylor and Simon and Garfunkel and the Eagles,
Come on, baby.
uh, going back a ways. But it's fun to play other covers, and it's fun to give your own little twist, your own little personality on an existing song, and so I really enjoy that.
So it's so funny you went, you're going back a ways. Listen, honey, I go back a ways. I'm an oldies doo-wop and Elvis girl. So, honey, I go back a ways. Um, but your music, the artists that you just mentioned, I mean, come on, they're incredible artists.
Oh, there's some great songs, and it's amazing. I mean, a lot of the songs are from the '70s and '80s, and it's great to see the young generation when they can appreciate some of the classics from decades ago. Great songs. Hopefully, kind of can pass the test of time and continue on.
Every young indie artist I've ever interviewed as early as 8, 9 years old, I always ask the same questions. Who's influenced you? And a lot of them will always also tell me, because I ask this question, like, what do you think about the older music, right? Every one of them, in their own words, say if it wasn't for all that went on, they wouldn't be singing. So they're all influenced. Everyone is influenced by the music before us. So
Absolutely,
beautiful.
absolutely. Yeah, it's funny. I'm sure every generation, the parents listen to the music the children are playing, and they think, oh my goodness, what are you listening to? And I'm sure for my parents, they were told that about the Beatles, and nowadays sometimes I'll scratch my head at what the young kids are listening to. But music can take many shapes and forms, and it's an expression,
Yeah.
for the artist singing it, and I think everyone has a voice that can be heard. But um, yeah, my exposure early on to some of the names I mentioned, Eagles, Simon and Garfunkel, James Taylor, I think that's left an impression with me. And I think great lyricists are sort of underappreciated. You get caught up in the melody of a song, or this or that, or the video, which can be wonderful. But for me, at the end of the day, great storytelling, I think, is something that I really
Yes.
admire.
Can I ask your age?
Sure. So let's see. I turned 40 about 18 years ago.
Okay, I love that. All right. So,
Makes me sound younger than I am.
so you look very young. So,
Thank you.
I want to share something with you about something you said about everyone has a voice. So, many years ago, someone got in touch with me, an African American young man from Trenton, New Jersey, close to my town, asking if I could have him on live in studio because he's a hip hop artist and he wants to get his music out there, a rapper. And I said, "Can you keep it clean?" He said, "Absolutely." So he came live in studio with a few of his friends. Now, this guy's name is Randy Shank. This guy goes by now Six, SIX Director. He now lives down south. He has a family. He's doing amazing. He still owns a piece of my heart, and when he comes up, he surprises me and visits me. Now, let me tell you what he said to me. So I said to him live on air, and I'll never forget this, "Why does there have to be so much profanity and, anger?" And this is what he said to me. And he said, "Jerry, everyone has a story to tell, and
Right.
it needs to be told. And unfortunately for some of us, this is the only story we know." And
Yeah.
he will message me every once in a while and say, "Jerry, I'm keeping it clean for you."
Mm.
Amazing. But not that I would ever listen to any of that, but at least I get it now a little bit better. And so with you talking about storytelling, you're right.
Yeah, well, you left an impression on him and he on you, it sounds
Yes.
like. And yeah, it's so personal, and it can be intimate as well. When it's great to play out and to have songs, spun on radio or distribution. But for me, I think one of the greatest forms of currency is if I'm playing out and people are nodding, or they like, I get it, or I can relate. I mean, that's the best form of gift I can receive, just that connection. So that's the power of music.
So let me ask you now. I'm a poet, and I'll be reading one of my poems today. But so I'm an artist, I'm a poet, right? I love all of that. And I ask a lot of songwriters this question. I know it's a mix, but what usually comes first, the lyrics or the music for you?
Well, for me, and I don't know how others do it, I'm sort of an open door. Sometimes I'll think of a theme that I want to write about. A few years ago we had the wildfires out here in California, and so I really wanted to express um, something about climate change. And there's a song called "Our Time Is Now." So I had the theme first, and then I tried to match the melody and the lyrics. What is emotion does it invoke? Is it fast, slow, this or that? Other times, I'll just be doodling on the guitar. That's my technical term. I doodle, and I'm not sure, kind of mindlessly. And every now and then, if I come across a riff that sounds interesting, again, I'll ask myself, okay, what emotions am I feeling from this? Is it nostalgia? Is it joy? Is it happiness? And then the hard part is to try to match either the lyrics or the melody. And I've got a whole stockpile of ideas and fragments of ideas. Thanks to modern technology on my phone, I'll just audio record something at 3 in the morning so I don't forget it. Um, so answer to your question, it depends. It comes from both
Yeah.
areas, and inspiration can be found 24/7. You never know where and when.
Most songwriters have said that to me as well, that it's a blend. Because I couldn't imagine, someone took one of my poems and they made it into a song.
Hmm.
And then this iconic songwriter from back in the day who's still with us. He got in touch with me and he said, "You're writing a song with me." And I laughed and I said, "I can't write songs. I can only do poetry." He goes, "We're doing this together." And we did a Christmas song 2 years ago. And I say he did most of it, and he says no, but I say yes, he did most of it. Trade Martin, if you ever want to look him up, that's his name, Trade Martin.
Trade Martin.
He's
Okay.
amazing. He's a legend. But anyway, for me, writing just comes so natural. I just sit there and write. I can't imagine having to worry about, okay, I got to put this to music, and now it's got to sound like this, and a melody. Blah, blah. No, that is not for me. So listen, I give you like thumbs up for that.
But it doesn't always work. But sometimes when it comes together, it's beautiful. Beautiful. It's almost like a three-dimensional puzzle. And most of my songs, it could take weeks or months. There's only been one song out of all 30 or 31 that, and this never happens except for this one time, that I sat down, I had an idea, and I started and finished it in one sitting.
Yes.
And that was a song actually I wrote for my wife called Better Man. It was a piano ballad. And I kept trying to edit it. I'm like, I've got to do more. It can't just be the first take. But after a while, I told myself, I can't think of any more edits. So that must be telling me something. So that was more of the exception than the norm.
So I want to say something about that. So you do realize why that one was one take, right? It was about your wife.
So I think, along the lines of what you're saying, it's a lot easier to write about real life experiences. Yes. It's hard to just fabricate something.
Right.
And when you draw from your own emotions,
yes,
typically it's just you have more in there to draw from.
What was that one called?
Better Man. Okay. Better Man. It's a piano ballad.
It's beautiful. Okay, so wow. All right. So I'm sure she loves it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So why don't we give everyone a little treat and we'll play one of your songs.
Sounds great.
Then we will talk about it. Okay, producer.
Through the highs and the lows, that's just how life goes. One day you're flying above it all, and the next thing you know, all that ground below, it's getting closer as you fall. And the moments in between, and all you felt and seen, how you spend your precious dime. So go laugh, live and love, give and grow, all the above. Make the most of this time in your life. Hey, yeah, in your life. Go that extra mile when you're tired. Tell yourself you're meant to thrive. And those peaks and valleys are where times are most extreme. It's also when we're most alive. Celebrate the birthday of a loved one. Lay some flowers on the grave. Be that shoulder for someone to lean on. Find your brave. Through the highs and the lows, that's just how it goes. One day you're flying above it all, and the next thing you know, hold that ground below. It's getting closer as you fall, and the moments in between, and all you felt and seen, how you spend your precious dime. So go laugh, live and love, give and grow, all the above. Make the most of this time in your life. Hey, yeah, in your life. Come on now. display. What's your legacy gonna be? So go laugh, live and love, give and grow all the above. Make your mark for all to see. Oh, in your life, hey, 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 in your life. How you gonna define your life?
That was amazing.
Thank you.
Tell us about this song, title, and what inspired it.
Sure. Yeah. First of all, shout out to producer Dan Ford and Chris Condon was guitarist on that. It's a song. It's just about life. I think one of the taglines was "Laugh, live, and love." And all the above. We all experience highs and lows in life. I mean, that's just human nature. We have an expression in our household or an acronym YOLO. You only live once. And times might be hard, or you may have uphill battles, whatever, but you got to go out there and you got to live, and that's what colors our existence. And it's not about sitting on the couch, letting life pass you by. You got to go out there and feel the joy, the pain. And so I tried to have it be a little more energetic for me, relatively speaking. I'm not some heavy metal kind of dude, but more of an upbeat type of song, an uplifting sort of aspiration is what I was shooting for.
Well, I love that, and I think you accomplished it. Very beautifully done, and I like that YOLO thing.
YOLO, you only live once.
Okay, I love
Yes.
that. Okay, YOLO, producer, YOLO. He's giving you a thumbs up, man. So I'm going to ask you a silly question, and you may or may not be able to answer it. So do you have like that one or two song that's your favorite growing up, or, even, it doesn't matter when, but like, do you have that song that this is your song, your favorite song?
Growing up, I had so many types of songs and music that really spoke to me. Starting out with piano. I mean, I really admired Billy Joel growing up. Recently in the 90s, I had a medical scare, and I'm fine now.
Okay.
But shortly after I had that, I was recovering, and there was a song that came out by Tim McGraw called "Live Like You Were Dying."
Yes.
And I thought, I'm hearing that, and similar to In Your Life, it's you got to go out there and ride that bull and climb that mountain and just do all these things, because you have to live like you're dying, because you really don't know. And the timing was such that on the heels of my medical scare, it just really just stuck with me, and it has ever since.
This is so crazy. A lot of people don't even know this about me, but I love that song. Okay, that's been my motto my whole life. I used to drive my Italian father crazy. You have no idea. I've jumped off of bridges in New Zealand. I threw my kid at 14 off a bridge in New Zealand screaming, okay? Listen,
Oh my.
I jumped off a cliff with a kite attached to me, jumped out of a plane.
YOLO.
That's right. You have no idea. Swam with sharks.
Woo.
I've done it all. And
Wow.
I try to tell people. So listen to me. I'm going to be telling people everything about this interview in YOLO, because that's going to be my thing now, okay? I'm going to steal it from you, but I'll let them know where I got it.
Hey,
Okay?
it's worth sharing.
I
It's
will
worth
let
sharing.
them know it came from Rocky Michaels. I
All right.
love it, man. So
All right.
now let me ask you a little bit about, nothing personal, a little bit about your family life with your music. So do you have children?
Oh, we have two boys, two wonderful boys.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, how old are they? Teenagers
22
or?
22 and 20.
Oh, my grandson's 23. Okay. So
Yeah.
do they like your music? Because I know, at that age, okay, things are a little different in the music. Do they like your music?
I believe they're very proud of what I'm doing.
Okay.
So, they have different styles.
Yes.
different preferences, but they absolutely appreciate and love what I'm doing. And I, not to sound corny, but the songs that I write about these days versus when I was young and dumb and a bachelor, I'm trying to write. It's almost like I'm leaving a living diary for my family, my children, in case I get hit by that bus tomorrow. So a lot of my songs, I'm trying to share Dad's goofy pearls of wisdom with them, and yeah, they appreciate it, but they'll listen to their own genres, on their own free time.
So my grandson's in Arizona State and calls me up. Maybe this was 8 months ago, whatever it's been, and he calls me Mom. Mom, listen, I want you to come to Arizona. You're coming to a concert with me and my friends. And I actually considered it. It was this head-banging band, and they were all going to be standing there jumping for hours and hours, and I had an injury on my knee, and that's what really stopped me. And I said, listen,
boy.
Christian, first of all, I can't believe you would want Mom there, so thank you for that. And second of all, I'm kind of glad, but I have this injury.
Oh, you're right. It kind of saved you.
But I get it, and listen, God forbid that day ever comes where you get hit by the truck. They're going to love everything you've left them in music.
Wow, that's we as a parent, you can only hope that
That's right.
you're raising them and offering guidance, and you got to set them free. But
That's right.
that's been my motivation for many of my songs. Messages to them.
And the day they turn 40, okay, they're going to look back and say, his music's amazing. His music's amazing. So it will happen, trust me. It will happen.
Thank you.
So let's give everyone another treat, and let's play a second song by you. Here we go.
Heat of July, when the river runs dry, to the leaves falling down all around, and the chill in the air from the December cold to the colorful blossoming ground. Though the changes come year after year, it keeps on calling your name, 'cause I feel you everywhere. You're so warm like the summer, you're so cool like the fall. As time keeps on going, you keep on showing it all. You're cozy like the winter, beautiful like the spring. All of the seasons and all of the reasons to sing. The sun setting earlier late in the year, to those April rains coming down. You're a constant reminder like stars up above. As time passes by I have found. Oh, you fill up my days with your glorious ways. You touch me like mist in the air, and I feel you everywhere. You're so warm like the summer, and so cool like the fall. As time keeps on going, you keep on showing it all. You're cozy like the winter, beautiful like the spring. You're all of the seasons and all of those reasons to sing. Months keep on going, your colors keep showing. You're with me all through the year, and I feel you everywhere. You're so warm like the summer, and so cool like the fall. As time keeps on going, you keep on showing it all.
You're so
cozy like the winter, beautiful like the spring. Oh, you're all of the seasons and all of those reasons to sing. You're all of the seasons. La, 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 la. Oh, you're all of the seasons and all of the reasons to sing.
Beautiful. Tell us about the song and
Thank
the
you.
title.
Yeah, so I think that was a case where I was doodling on the guitar and I came across the little melody, the little lyric, and I'm again, what emotion am I feeling? And typically, my albums have 10 songs each, so I had 9 songs, and I was trying to find a 10th song to complete the album, and I always try to round it out. I'll have some guitar songs, some piano songs, some fast songs, some slow songs. So I think as I was doodling, I came across the "You're cozy like the winter," and then I thought to myself, cozy like the winter. Okay, winter. Well, there are 4 seasons, so then I expanded it to, you're so warm like the summer and cool like the fall, and I built the chorus, and then from there I just expanded it to the story, the verses, and it's basically uh, how inspiration in a relationship can be found all year round. It's just kind of a lighthearted, kind of a easygoing, easy listening vibe. So I will mention. I have YouTube videos for almost all of my songs. It's free. You can just go to Rocky Michaels Music and hit the YouTube um, link. This was a fun video to make because I really wanted to capture all 4 seasons in the video. So out here in California, it's a pretty diverse geographical region. So on one weekend, I drove up to Lake Tahoe, which is where I filmed the winter video footage. It was about a 3-hour drive. I was
Okay.
there for 30 minutes, played in the snow, drove back home. Next day, I went to the ocean, which I can get there in an hour. I filmed my summer video there, and then I filled in the rest around town, and I put it all together. So it was a lot of driving, but a lot of fun to make that video.
A 3-hour drive for a half an hour. That's pretty cool. All right.
I'm
That
dedicated
shows, right.
or
That's
insane.
Oh my goodness. All right. So, amazing. All right. Very cool. So,
Yeah.
so let me ask you something before we play another song, your last song. Let me ask you something. Growing up, all right, in school, like, did you walk around the hall singing, or were you involved in choir or any of that?
Uh, no singing, no choir. I was track and cross country, kind of a late bloomer. Um, I play piano, and again, from piano, I hanging around the other guitar guys in the band after college. I always thought guitar guys were so much more cool, so I kind of by osmosis, I learned the guitar, but singing was really my last component, and I think my weakest link for many years. So another philosophy I have in life is always focus on your weak link until it doesn't become your weak link anymore,
I love
and then
it.
you have a new weak link. So kind of a bottom up approach. So I've really been trying to dedicate really the past decade or so to singing and vocal exercises and but no, in high school, no, I had the piano at home growing up, but I never really blossomed into anything until maybe high school and college, just writing my own stuff, but not singing out in public.
So, did you ever have any musical or singing lessons?
No. Well, the last few years, online, I've taken some, from YouTube videos and breathing exercises, and I did have a vocal coach uh, online, never in person, just trying to fine tune. I think we're creatures of habit, and we get into our grooves, and it's good to have some outside
Right.
reinforcement to tell me or to anyone, you know, this is what you're doing, this is what you should be doing. So I've had some over the past few years just to kind of keep me in line with what I should be doing.
All right. I have a silly question. Did you ever get into any counseling? to
Counseling,
give people counseling?
as far as how to sing or
No, no, in life in general. Did
oh
you ever think about becoming any sort of a counselor?
no, but you know, parenting is probably my
Yes.
greatest, most prideful job, that and being a husband. But I haven't really extended that into counseling. That's an interesting question. No one's ever asked me that
Because,
before.
all right, so I do a lot of counseling for people with recovery and all that, right? I'm listening to you, and everything you're saying is so profound. And where does
Wow.
all this come from in your thinking?
Wow. Well, thank you for the
It's the
compliment.
truth.
I'm not sure I know how to answer that. I think we're all creatures of part nature, part nurture. And shout out to my parents. They're still around, and they were such amazing role models. People who would come, my friends would come and visit me growing up, and they refer to us as the Cleaver household. They were Ward and June Cleaver from Beaver, Leave It to Beaver. They were just the most amazing parents. They still are. So I think they served as tremendous role models for me. Um, I never really consciously thought about that. That's just, you are who you are, I suppose.
It's amazing. I've interviewed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of singer songwriters. I've never had anyone explain things the way you're explaining them. I mean,
Wow.
even saying you should take your weakest link and focus on that until it's not your weakest link anymore. And I'm like, just the way you describe things, it's amazing. So I'm going to take from this interview, just so you know.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's a compliment. And
I'm
yeah,
going to,
it's advice we all, I think, can follow, and it seems to make sense.
I'm going to share some of this with people in need.
All right.
Wow,
Well, I'm honored. I'm honored.
I'm honored. I'm impressed. Um, so you know what? I think I should read the poem now. All right, guys. So, Rocky, there's a reason why I always read this poem with my singers because it's called Utilizing Gifts and Talents. And I wrote this because so many people would message me with my interviews and all that, and they're all like, man, I wish I could sing like him. I wish I could sing like her. I wish I could write like you. I wish I could, everybody's always looking at someone else, wishing they could do what they do. And I want everyone to know that they've all got something to offer. We were all born with a special gift, okay? So this poem I wrote is called Utilizing Gifts and Talents. We are born with talents, we are born with drive, with different gifts to help us thrive. I knew early on I was born to draw and paint, to also write poetry and to talk without restraint. Our gifts and talents should all be used, God's gift to us not be abused. We can go far in life for sure, using our gifts to go on tour. All our talents should be used to create ourselves and more, but then our job's to share them, to even up the score. You see, in life, what's needed is not just for ourselves. Once our gifts are mastered, take them off the shelves. A living we can make by spreading them around, not just for the money, but to spread a peaceful sound. Don't take for granted the gifts you're given. Go out and spread the joy. Our gifts are not to be held back for us to self-destroy. Put your efforts forth. Do not hesitate, because all your talents, my friend, are never second rate. Never hold them back or you will surely die. Maybe not in body, but your soul will cry. Our gifts were made to share, our talents made to soar. Go through life enlightened, and then you can roar. Be proud of who you are. Be happy you're alive. Once again, my friend, your gifts will help you thrive. By putting efforts forth, not keeping them at bay, your name, Rocky Michaels, baby, will live forever, forever and a day. So go through life excited for what you sure can give. To yourself and others is our reason to live. Our grave will be quite lonely, but our legacy lives on. So make sure people smile with the breaking dawn. And that's what your music is doing, Rocky. It's making
Wow.
people smile, and you are
Wow.
your legacy. Hold on,
That,
Rocky. Hold on. We're hearing some
that,
producers on it. Hold on 1 second. Can you hear me, Rocky?
I can hear you now.
Okay,
I can hear
guys,
you now.
we had a little speck of a tech issue. Okay, you know what that's about in technology, right? Here we are. We are back. So
So you wrote that,
I
correct?
wrote that. Yes.
That is profound and that is beautiful, and I think that's it's a common theme to what we've been discussing.
Yes.
And as I'm hearing that, I'm thinking to myself, we as humans, we are all complex living organisms, and we all have the ability to shine on the world, but the world needs to see us shine.
That's
We
right.
all have something
That's
to
right.
share, and so I just love that's profound. I'm gonna play this back, and I'm gonna hear that again. That was beautiful.
Thank you, sweetie. I could even email it to you. I have no problem with that. It's in my book. So
All right.
let's play our third song for everybody. And guys, sorry about the little tech issue, but it wasn't our fault. But here we go. Third song.
Sitting on the front porch with the canopy of blue skies covering up above, a bird catches my eye. Atop civilization, its feathered wings are spread out wide and glides the gentle wind as it goes by. I close my eyes and in my mind I see an unencumbered inner kind of me. Oh, I'm an eagle. Flying high above the fray, soar through the sky, touch heaven's gate. My eyes see a keener sense of view. Oh, I'm an eagle, and I'm free. Wanna feel the wind blow, flying over Winslow, and take it easy, take it as I go. Overhead the Calita smell, and overheard that mission bell, liberated from the chains below. Flying high with a billion stars around. Neon skies, a refuge from the ground. Oh, 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 I'm an eagle. Flying high above the fray, soar through the sky, touch heaven's gate. My eyes see a keener sense of view. Oh, I'm an eagle, and I'm free. I see a keener sense of you. Oh, oh, I'm an eagle. And I'm free. Look at me, I'm flying. Oh, I'm an eagle. Yeah, look at me, I'm flying.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Tell everyone about this song.
And I'm free.
Can you hear me now? All right, amazing. Can you hear me, Rocky?
Thank you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Tell
Yes.
everyone about this amazing song.
Oh, thank you so much. So yeah, this is a fun one to play on piano. So two things about this song. It's when I was younger, I would always have dreams about flying, and I remember them so vividly. I'd take 3 running steps, and I'd jump up, and I'd hover over my neighbor's rooftops, and I just always had a fascination with flying. So this song is figuratively and literally about flying and just getting away, rising above the fray, the craziness in the world. But it also doubles as a tribute to one of my favorite bands, and that's the Eagles. And so for those of you who are for true Eagles fans out there, I challenge you to see how many references to some of the iconic Eagles songs and lyrics that I incorporated into the second half of the song, flying over Winslow and things like that. So I have a couple little Easter eggs in there. And, just like a parent, you love all your children equally. I love all my songs equally. Just on some days, I love some songs more equally than others. So this one is kind of a special one for me that I enjoy playing and having people listen to.
That's amazing. So, oh my gosh, you're making me crack up with that. So what about Jethro Tull, Genesis?
Oh my goodness. Well, Genesis. I mean, Peter Gabriel early on. Not so much Jethro Tull, but yeah. And again, I think having that piano background.
Okay.
I really admired, especially rock ballads that have piano in them. It's just I've always kind of had an ear for that, or an affinity towards those types of. This is sort of a rock ballad, and I think the combination can be quite powerful.
So Genesis, Follow You, Follow Me, one of the
Yes.
greatest songs ever written and sung, okay? Forget it. And way back in the day, I was very young, I got to see Genesis, and I also got to see Jethro Tull, Aqualung,
Wow.
Yeah. When I went into art school in 1979 in New York, in the Village, School of Visual Arts, and it's still there, but very different, very sad for me. We had to get in, we had to do 2 charcoals, black and white, one of ourselves, a self-portrait. So I did my high school 79, graduation photo. And then I did Jethro Tull Aqualung cover. And those 2 things, I'll even send it to you later. I'll send you. I keep it in my phone.
Okay. Yeah.
Those 2 things got me into art school. But the Jethro Tull thing I'm bringing up because everybody's like, how could you like Jethro Tull? You love Elvis. You love all. You can't take the rocker out of me, man. You can't, So everything you're saying, I could just totally, I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, well, you're like the modern Renaissance woman. You're doing it all. You're swimming with sharks, and you're drawing,
Okay, forget
painting
it.
with Jethro Tull.
Forget it.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So, but Ian Anderson, I got to see him years ago again when he was older. And I got to tell you something, he was still incredible on stage. Let me tell you.
Wow.
Incredible on stage.
That's impressive.
So, yeah. So, all right. So we have a few more minutes. I don't want you to forget promoting anything, give out your information. Let's do that do that now so we don't forget.
Sure, thank you. You can always start with my website, which is www.rockymichaelsmusic.com. And from there, I've got links to all my socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Again, YouTube, most of my videos or most of my songs have videos and they're free. You can check them out. But the website's a good place to start. I'm also performing. I've got a performance calendar, here in the Greater Bay Area. For those of you who are out this way or coming out this way, if it aligns with your calendar, come on out and say hi. I'd love to see you.
So cool. So I want you to leave us with something very inspirational. Well, wait, I have a question. I'm putting you on the spot, and you can say no, Jerry. It's okay. Do you ever do anything a cappella, just like off the cuff?
You mean when I'm performing live?
No,
or,
I mean like if you're sitting here talking to me.
Oh, I haven't.
Would you?
I mean, I have a guitar here.
But we can't, because what happens is when someone's trying to play their guitar and sing, it goes in and out. We don't hear. I mean, 30 seconds. Give us something.
So I'll just mention, today's the 9th. Yesterday was my 25th anniversary with my wife. So I wrote a song for her, which will be released probably in August. So I put out a little teaser, but I'll
Let's
give
do
you.
it.
Oh, a cappella, definitely putting me on the spot.
Yes.
So it's just about all the craziness of our lives, and babies crying 2 a.m. Smoke detectors chiming in. Well, the dog is on the loose again. That hot water turned to cold. Open sauce is way too old. And the laundry needed to be folded still. Even though we couldn't help sometimes to wish those days were through. I'd go back and do it all again with you. A cappella on the spot.
Listen,
Wow.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You don't understand what that just did for me. A cappella is my favorite. And I'll ask people on the spot, and most of them say, Jerry, I wish I could, but I really can't. My throat, this and that, I don't really do acapella.
I'm not even warmed up.
That was amazing. And you want to hear something crazy? In your age category, a lot of them won't do it. Most of the younger ones, okay, will just jump in and do it. And I'm like, wow. So I thank you so much. That was amazing, okay?
Well, thank you.
And everybody, I put him on the spot. Trust me, he did not
did.
know that I was going to ask him to do that. I didn't even know I was going to ask him to do that, but I had to. So, wow, beautiful. So now, give everyone something inspirational to take from this, interview with you, please.
Something inspirational. Thank you. What comes to mind, oftentimes when I play out, one of the songs I'll perform last is a song called Somewhere. And it's just a song about hope and inclusion and building bridges. And the reason I do that is, again, these are such crazy times, but I really believe that kindness and positivity can be positive contagions. If you're kind and positive and you spread that to others, and we can't change the headlines, we can't change a lot of things, but getting back to what I said earlier, focus on the things we can control. And if we can be kind and positive and encouraging and inclusive, hopefully that has positive effects with others. So that's one small thing. And everyone, we're all in this together. We're all brothers and sisters of this world. Let's just try to be kind and offer up some humanity to one another.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Everyone, I want to thank everyone for listening. And do me a favor and please share this video. You have to, okay? We got to get this guy super duper noticed. He's already noticed, but super duper, okay? Rocky, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for honoring me today with this incredible interview. And again, shout out to Caden Gordon because he introduced us. So I love you, Caden. And your music is off the charts. And I don't just say that, trust me. You could watch other interviews I do. I don't say anything I don't mean. And you're so inspirational. And the words of your songs, and I'm just so honored that you're on my show today. So I want to really thank you for that. Okay?
Thank you so much, Jerry, for having me on.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Everybody, please check out his music, okay? So with that, producer, Take us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Love's the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do,
Just what to do, just what to do.
if what you're feeling is really true,
Is it really true? Is it really true?
just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Love's the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.